A tragic incident occurred in the nursery representing the newborn. A nurse locked the door back, then he took out a scalpel from his bag. Slowly approaching, the newborn baby raised a knife, thoroughly thrust down. A parent outside the door discovered an abnormality. Hurry up, wanting to save people, but the door was locked and couldn't be opened. Here, the nurse raised the knife again, to stab at another baby. The security guard quickly picked up the fire extinguisher and smashed it into the door. Here, the nurse is still killing people. Charging from the security guard breaking through the glass door, the nurse has already killed all the babies inside. Before everyone rushes forward, directly stabs such a tragic case with a scalpel, shocking the world and shocking the public, directly causing the disappearance of 11 small lives. Among them is the police officer Da Zhuang's newborn child. He uncovered the cloth covering the child's body, unable to control emotions, completely collapse. This morning, he greeted the arrival of this little life with a happy expression on his face. I didn't expect to turn around. At this point, heaven and earth are forever separated. The wife couldn't bear to hear that her child had been killed. I also committed suicide, connecting the world in a day. Wife and children are strong and heartbroken. But as a police officer, we must investigate the case. However, 5 years have passed, but he didn't notice anything. At this point, similar tragedies happen again. A 13-year-old boy walked into kindergarten, a sudden shooting without any truth, directly causing 33 deaths, and then commit suicide with a resounding force. Why is it so crazy after death? Even his mother doesn't know. The investigation is once again deadlocked. At this point, a clue provided by a woman, just before the case occurred, a strange priest found him. Say, too much, children will have a bloody disaster. He didn't care at the time. Who knew they would soon hear the news of the child being killed? Da Zhuang asked him about the physical features of that person. Someone said, that priest is not only dressed in black, he still has strange runes tattooed on his body. He even told the woman, this tragedy will continue to occur. The police quickly listed the witness as the first suspect. But before we find someone, after a group of people calling themselves the Supernatural Identification Bureau walked into the scene and worked together, a eerie scene appeared at the scene. The walls and ceiling are covered with children's fingerprints. That's not something ordinary people can do. They said it could be done by a ghost. As a police officer, Da Zhuang, how could you believe in continuing to investigate in your own way? However, just when he was at a loss, the third tragedy has occurred. The cleaner is wrapped in high-voltage wires. Then turn on the power supply, slowly enter the indoor swimming pool. Here, the children are playing carefree. Parents have discovered abnormalities in the cleaners, while working as a lifeguard. Run over on the side. Lifeguard rushed over, trying to stop the cleaner. He electrocuted him directly as a result. The children hurriedly fled to the swimming pool. When they saw this, the cleaner jumped in directly. Moment. All the children in the swimming pool died. Da Zhuang wants to start with the cleaner, but found him alone. There are no enemies either. Why on earth would you do such a thing? This mother and son are walking peacefully on the road. Suddenly, a van drove forward, rush out from inside. Several people stunned their mother with an electric shock, and then he dragged the boy onto the van and took him away. But passersby stared blankly at this scene. But there's a man who doesn't care at all. He walked into the mall carrying a strange bag. First, look around. Confirm what? Then directly press the detonator in your hand. This case involves more people. The police learned from a survivor that priest also appeared at the scene. He stole a little boy before the explosion. Police investigation. The little boy found out that he was also present at the scene of the first 3 tragedies, but every time I was lucky enough to avoid it. Is that priest saving the boy? Tell them to find the priest's church. Drive overnight to the local area, but I realized that this place was already abandoned. There's no one inside. There are also eerie patterns on the walls and ground. Zioso, I said, these are all used to summon demons. It seems that the priest is really a cult. Suddenly, a burst of baby laughter came from the room. 2 people walked along the sound, discovered that the stroller in the corner had moved by itself. He opened a door. Many people's prayers came from inside, and the crying of the baby. Let's go inside and take a look. But there's nothing. There is still a foul smell in the room. It's like the smell of a corpse rotting. Countless flies fly in the air. The 2 of them walked towards the corner with the most flies. But it turned out to be just a Jesus' laughter. Da Zhuang suspects there is a body inside, so I looked closely at it. Suddenly, the statue moved. Scared out, quickly retreat. This is the opening of the statue. Prison. Is that bullshit? I think, from an ordinary perspective, you are not easily served. Xiao Shuai, reminder Da Zhuang. Don't believe his lies. He's just trying to seduce Da Zhuang. But Da Zhuang doesn't listen at all. I want Da Zhuang to help him kill a child. He promised to be resurrected, a strong wife. To win the trust of Da Zhuang, he wants to fantasize about his wife and children. Da Zhuang approached them step by step. Zioso, I stopped him quickly, but Da Zhuang was bewitched, couldn't even hear it. I saw a woman placing a baby in a strong hand. Da Zhuang is immersed in the emotion of losing and recovering. I noticed the statue that was fixed. Correct constraints. Da Zhuang happily unfolded his son's swaddling clothes. but it was discovered that there were no decaying corpses inside. Da Zhuang was so scared that he threw away the statue. This is a death in battle. Critical moment. Xia Zhuang scattered the statue with one shot, instantly disappearing from the illusion of a strong and powerful person. Keaton suddenly collapsed, unexpectedly hanging the instrument on Xia Shuai's head. Beat him up. At this point, the priest appeared and knocked down Da Zhuang with an electric gun. Wait for him to wake up again. I found myself caught by a priest. The priest told them, that statue is a legendary demon, Belzebuth. Every few years, Jesus will come to this world. The boy who was kidnapped by him, it's the incarnation of Jesus, Dihibo, in order to kill him, enchanting humans, killing indiscriminately where boys appear. That led to a series of tragedies. Children's education is to protect the little savior. He founded the seal that brought Belzebuth here. I didn't expect to be broken by them. Nowadays boys are in dire straits. They must be found. Protecting him before, otherwise, no one will stop the end of the world. This little boy is actually the reincarnation of Jesus. In order to kill the demon, command humans to commit indiscriminate killing, but the boy is lucky to avoid him every time. To bewitch a human being, result protected. The boy's priest discovered. Timely rescue of Da Zhuang. To protect the boy, several people have decided to illegally cross the border, but when passing through a tunnel, but the boy stopped. The priest chose to trust his intuition, so we took another channel. But here it is. But they found a bunch of cult things. The priest asked everyone not to move around. Hurry up and go. But Da Zhuang stopped. The priest suddenly realized that he was possessed, carrying a cross to exorcise demons. Da Zhuang is in great pain, quickly becoming ferocious in appearance. At this moment, the inexplicable vibration of the tunnel, the surrounding lights gradually went out. The priest quickly lit the fireworks. Da Zhuang has disappeared from sight. Only the howls of wild beasts came from the darkness. The priest cautiously looked forward. At this moment, Da Zhuang suddenly appeared. The members of the priest's team break with just one kick, then use an electric gun to stun the priest. Xia Shuai, go up and save people. But it's not a strong opponent at all. The mother laughed and fled with her son. Behind him, Da Zhuang pursued closely. Actually, in the boy's eyes, what was chasing them was a monster. It is precisely the essence of demons who do not believe in poison. I was so scared that I closed my eyes. Soon, mother and son fled to the end. Da Zhuang's colleagues came to pick them up, watching the big guy chasing behind with a gun, facing him, trying to persuade him to calm down. Da Zhuang regained some sanity. The demon's whispers and his reason are at war in his mind. He suddenly had an unbearable headache. At the same time, I saw this and hugged him to comfort me. Unexpectedly, Da Zhuang suddenly fired a shot at him, and then step by step towards the mother and son. Two people from their mother's arms, two boys at the command of the devil. I'm about to gouge out the boy's eyes. At this point, my mother suddenly erupted. Pick up the stone. Directly knock Da Zhuang unconscious. When this hits Da Zhuang with a fatal blow, Xia Shuai came in time to stop him. Later, with the help of the priest, they locked up the boy. Prepare to exorcise Da Zhuang. We nailed his limbs to the cross, while reciting the weight of exorcism, the constant wailing of great pain. But the devil didn't leave. Xia Shuai, hurry up and pour some water on it. At this moment, the devil is doing what he did on Da Zhuang. Da Zhuang quickly calmed down. It seems that the exorcism was successful. Just as the two of them were crying with joy, after the cross suddenly floated up, hit the ground with force, the cross was damaged. Da Zhuang gains freedom. Remove the wooden branch from your hand. Instantly stab the young handsome, and then step by step, he walked towards the boy's mother. On the other side, the priest suddenly gave a strange smile. Take out a small knife, walking towards the boy with a ferocious face. Original. He had already signed a contract with the devil. Just limit the boys, he will attain eternal life. At this moment, the priest's hands were overjoyed and he came to find the devil. But I didn't come to him to fulfill my promise. Instead, he pressed his hands on the forehead of his big and strong head. This demon is transferred to the priest. He uses the runes on his body as a medium. Seal the bones of the other play on a stone. Let's go. Be caught in the wind and rain. This is. You hide it. You're the one. Nurse. Thoroughly resolve the other party. He also gave his life. After Da Zhuang finally woke up, they found the boy. Most priests don't kill him, using only his blood. The priest will grant the identity of a saint to the sealed object of the demon king Belzebuth. After the Big Bang, the entire tunnel was blown up. Take the mother and son out of here. Hunger is his responsibility to protect them.